Ladies and gentlemen, and once again, it is that time of the night, Wednesday night. I am going to tuck you in with your sports fix. It is your man, Jelani JB Bodie, host of this thing called The Wait a Minute Show on the Two Live Stews Radio Network. And we're going to go at this like warriors today. Tonight, me, Lopan, you, everyone, let's do this.
Until I take my last breath, I'ma fight till the death. Fight through the struggles, fight through the pains. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. Until I take my last breath, I'ma fight till the death. I'ma walk alone as I walk through this darkness. Just another man in the land of the heartless, where it's do or die. And you can see the fire in my eye. And if you only knew my hunger, you can hear my stomach growl like thunder. Hurt business, you can't show it. No matter the pain, you push forward. Get got, move or move over. No guts, no glory, roll over. Where only the strong gon' survive. And if it's up to me to decide, fight through the struggles, fight through the pains. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. Until I take my last breath, I'ma fight till the death. Fight through the struggles, fight through the pains. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. Until I take my last breath, I'ma fight till the death. I'm a warrior. Blood on my face, scars on my hands, signs of a gladiator. I should fear no man. It ain't no bending, ain't no breaking, ain't no goddamn draws. Either you winning or you losing, ain't no pities in war. It's every man for itself, ain't no friends among us. Either you predator or prey when you in this jungle. No surrender, no retreat when your family gotta eat. And the cost of living is high and the struggle is all you see. They say many are called but the chosen a few. Where your past don't matter, only your present is due. To sum it up, either you can or you can't. A warrior, either you are or you ain't. Fight through the struggles, fight through the pain. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. Until I take my last breath, I'ma fight till the death. Fight through the struggles, fight through the pain. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. Until I take my last breath, I'ma fight till the death. I'ma walk. If I can't run, I'ma walk. If I can't walk, I'ma crawl. But I'ma keep on going till I can't go at all. If I can't run, I'ma walk. If I can't walk, I'ma crawl. But I'ma keep on going till I can't go at all. I'm a warrior. Fight through the struggles, fight through the pains. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. Until I take my last breath, I'ma fight till the death. Fight through the struggles, I'ma fight through the pains. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. Until I take my last breath, I'ma fight till the death. 'Cause I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior.
It's the Wait a Minute Show.
This is a podcast.
Is this thing on? The mic is lit. Faro Jaro.
Kick my music.
Bruh. You done lost your mind. Ain't that right, Lopan? Really? Wait a minute. Just a question. The Wait a Minute Show with your host, Jelani Bodie. Ladies and gentlemen, what is the deal? I'll tell you what the deal is. It's the Wait a Minute Show, and it's going down once again tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Two Live Stews Radio Network. It is your man, Jelani JB Bodie, and my man, the co-host, Lopan. Shouts out to Lopan. He's in the building. Lopan, I'm going to need you to fall back. Just relax. I'm going to take this. I'm going to run with this. Just trust me on it, okay? You do trust me, right? Indeed. Okay, so I'll do the show. We're not going to have any problems. I started off with the Warriors way. I had to. Ladies and gentlemen, the world that we live in right now, we have to have a Warriors mentality, and we need to push forward. I say that at the end of every show that I do. Always push forward, and that song embodied what I was talking about. We need to stay positive. Don't quit. Get up, fight. If you get knocked down, get back up and fight again. Push through. But make sure you do it in a positive way. So that's how we're going to do it tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun, as we always do, on this show. And I'm going to try to stay calm. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about, as always, tonight. We got some Cowboys talk with Jerry Jones. Jamil Hill is in the news again. We got football talk, J.J. Watt, and I'll tell you where we're going to start here in just a second. But also, I think people like this. So I got it going again. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have another Big L award. Dum, dum, dum. Drama. So we'll wait to the end of the show. I'll tell you who's going to be the Big L award recipient tonight. I think you'll agree. But before we do that, let's get to this sports talk, all this stuff. It's Wednesday night again. I'm going to tuck you in, tonight. And I'm pumped up. Y'all gotta bear with me. I'm a little pumped up. But, yeah, Big L Award going on tonight. Update just came across, and this is more for, you might be a Bengals fan, but this is probably more for your fantasy football. It looks like Tyler Eifert, tight end for the Cincinnati Bengals, has decided, to take season-ending surgery and for his back, and it's a bad look. The brother can't stay healthy. I think it was pretty much something that he needed to do. This was his last year. He was going into free agency, and you don't want to try and go through the season all beat up, and you can't get paid the following season because you're not healthy, because you got to get surgery. So for those people who pay attention to Bengal news, or he's on your fantasy football league team like me, he will be no longer providing services for your team. So make sure you make the necessary adjustments. Now this opens up, for the rest of the year for a guy like Tyler Croft. I don't know what it is about them having brothers named Tyler on their team, but this will be a little bit of a knock to the Cincinnati Bengals, and they are already having trouble as it is. Like we saw earlier with their offense, and they changed offensive coordinators and everything, and Marvin Lewis, man, I'm not even going to say on his last leg because we keep saying that and he keeps sticking around. But Marvin Lewis, got to improvise like he always do. So that is just a little bit of update that just went down here not too long ago. And for those who may be listening to this show for the first time, this is a very interactive show. I try and get people, I pay attention to the chat room because there is a live chat room going on here. So you can go into the chat room, create yourself a profile and all that good stuff, and then chime in. If it's something that you want to say, something that you may not agree with me, something that you may want to ask and get my opinion, you can do it all in the chat room. And then also you can chat with the other listeners in the chat room. People like Big L that's in the chat room. People like Vince Wright that's in the chat room. People like that 334 Bama boy that's in the chat room. Angry Black Man that's in the chat room. So you can chat it up with all of them as well. We try to make this very, very, very fun and interactive. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into some of this news. And it sounds like noise, but I made a promise. So I'm going to go ahead and get this out the way, ladies and gentlemen. There is a brother and we're down here in Atlanta, so, everybody know Atlanta is a transplant city, and you got people from all over the place, all over the world, all over the nation living in Atlanta. So there's a brother that lives here in Atlanta by the name of DC Falconer. I'm shouting you out, DC, so you better be listening. I told you tonight I was going to talk about it. So he always is on me about, why don't you ever talk about the Jets? Why don't you ever talk about the Jets? And I said, because y'all sorry and y'all suck. Y'all do something, and then I'll talk about y'all. But don't be hitting me up about the New York Jets when these mugs is garbage, So I said, if they do something, when they finally do something, I will talk about the Jets. And I got to give it up to the Jets at this point. 5 games, 5 weeks into the season, they have done something. They are 3-2. They are the kings of New York right now. The Giants are 0-5. It is unexplainable. We already know they basically lost almost their whole receiving core. But we're not going to talk about the Giants. We're going to talk about the Jets, Jets. Yes, they are 3-2. Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I will give them credit. Everyone, including me, I had them finishing last in the division. They still could finish last, but I seriously thought they may be 0-5 as well, just like the Giants is. Maybe 1-4, but now I never had them 3-2, so I do have to give them credit where credit is due. And the reason I say they're the Kings of New York right now, when you take, before the injuries, and you take both rosters and you match them up side by side, you got your quarterback. Eli Manning, 2-time Super Bowl champ, Pro Bowls and all that good stuff, come from a football family. Josh McCown, been pretty much almost everywhere in the NFL. Who you going to take? You're going to take Eli. Even though he's prone to throw interceptions, you're going to take Eli. Wide receiver group, we already know. No one in this room, this chat room, or probably listening to this other than DC Falconer probably name the wide receiver group for the New York Jets. But you have guys like Jermaine Kearse, and also Robbie Anderson, Aldrick Robinson, that's on that team that are contributed to that team. But we all know OBJ, Brandon Marshall, Sterling Shepard, all those guys, you're going to take the wide receiver core. Running back, let's go ahead and just say that's a push. Either one that you go with, both of them are struggling, but they do have maybe a slight edge in the guy by the name of Bilal Powell. Matt Forte, he is what he is, man. He's older, and Father Time has caught up with Matt Forte. There's nothing to be ashamed about that because it is what it is. It happens to everybody. But defensive wise, we would have said the Giants, oh my gosh, the secondary and everything. They would have had struggles, maybe up front just a little bit, but overall that defense, we would have took them, over. The Jets are running the streets of New York right now, and you have to give them props. You have to give them credit. You have to give credit to Todd Bowles. He has these kids, and I say kids because a lot of these guys are still young, on this team, but they have won 3 games. At this point, you have to give them credit. And like I said, I am going to give the New York Jets credit when they do something. There's a lot of other teams that's out there that wish they were 3-2. How about the LA Chargers? They were supposed to be a better team. They're 1-4. We already talked about Giants. They're 0-5. Cleveland is 0-5. There are a lot of other teams out there that wish they were 3-2 at this point. So you have to give, even though, it's still early, you have to give them credit where credit is due. They are in the mix. They are challenging in the AFC East. We don't know for how long, but you have to give credit where credit is due. So I'm going to go ahead right now. Shouts out to the New York Jets. Jets, Jets. Now, DC Falconer, don't bother me ever again. I told you, when they do something, I'll put them on here. When they trash, I'm not going to be talking about them. So we did what we said we were going to do. We honored it. We talked about it. Now we're going to move on. Can we all be happy? Yes. So moving on, we're going to get into Jerry Jones. That guy. And this whole thing with the flag. Now, we're back on that again. Now, before I go into Jerry Jones and talk about that whole side of this whole realm of things that's wrapped around the flag, I'm going to say it again. I've said it once. I said it twice. I've said it so many times that we already know that the protests